Have you ever faced a problem and felt completely stuck, unsure how to approach it? It's so easy to fall back on our usual ways of thinking, applying the same familiar solutions to every single challenge we encounter in our daily lives. Imagine having an entire toolbox of powerful mental frameworks at your fingertips, ready to help you overcome obstacles and achieve your biggest goals. These essential frameworks give you a sharper lens on the world, enabling you to consistently make much more effective and intelligent decisions. Gabriel Weinberg and McCann's book, Super Thinking, offers the essential toolbox of powerful mental models to improve how you see the world. Let's explore the essential mental models that the world's greatest thinkers use to help them make better decisions and navigate life more effectively. We're going to explore how to take powerful, proven concepts from completely different fields like science and art and apply them to our own work. You can use these powerful tools to fundamentally improve the way you think and enhance the quality of the decisions you make in your everyday life. And importantly, we will also guide you through the process of recognizing and skillfully avoiding the most common and often hidden thinking traps. Prepare to expand your horizons and unlock a new level of understanding, because our incredible journey into elevating your mindset is about to begin now. Idea 1. Understanding mental models. Our goal is to understand mental models. They are powerful tools for thought that help us see the world clearly and make much smarter decisions. Simply put, a mental model is a pre-existing idea we use to understand things. It's like a blueprint or a map in your mind for how something works. These internal maps help us make sense of a complex and chaotic world. They bring structure and predictability to the constant flow of information. We build a versatile toolkit for our minds by collecting models over time from many fields of study and through our own unique life experiences. The classic economic principle of supply and demand provides a simple model for how free market prices are determined for various goods. When the supply for a product is much greater than demand, the price drops because sellers must lower what they charge to attract the very few buyers. However, when demand outpaces the supply, the price increases because many buyers are competing for a very limited number of items. This single model makes a complex market easy to understand. Using models helps you make better, more informed decisions in your daily life.
Before we continue the video, let's be honest about reading. If you're a visual learner, trying to force your way through a book can be painful. Reading a full book can feel impossible because your brain craves visual stimulation, and words on a page just don't provide that spark. But with the BookWatch app, you can absorb an entire book in just 15 minutes with our animated book summaries. We create engaging visuals that match exactly how your brain works for thousands of books. Start learning the way your brain is truly meant to. Download the BookWatch app free with the link in the description, or search BookWatch in the App Store. Also, if you are enjoying our free content on YouTube, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel.
Idea 2. Supermodels and super thinking. Mental models are tools from one field that work in others. They are shortcuts to better reasoning by connecting seemingly unrelated things. These supermodels help find surprising links between ideas. They are the core of super thinking, letting you see the world more clearly. Critical mass is a physics term for the precise tipping point when a nuclear chain reaction becomes self-sustaining and continues indefinitely. When an atom reaches its critical mass, it can trigger a powerful chain reaction, leading to a truly massive and sudden release of incredible energy. In business, this model means a company hits critical mass when its customer base becomes so large it starts fueling its own continuous growth. Dating apps are a perfect example of this. They need a critical mass of users to function, and once they achieve it, their growth can be explosive. These models are your key to super thinking. They create a deeper, more precise framework for understanding how the world truly works. Supermodels are reusable frameworks that act as analytical shortcuts, helping us think more clearly and make better decisions much faster. Idea 3. The pitfall of weak reasoning. We often trust our intuition more than our reasoning, but our gut feeling can be stuck in old, unexamined ways of thinking that are deeply flawed. Common sense and instinct are built on a foundation of hidden assumptions. These core beliefs can sometimes be completely and dangerously wrong. For thousands of years, the dangerous practice of bloodletting was accepted as a classic and cautionary example of this very pitfall. This belief stems from humorism, an ancient theory where four humors, blood phlegm, yellow and black bile, were all thought to require perfect balance. Removing excess fluid was the common sense solution, so bloodletting seemed logical because it fit this flawed core belief about the body. This flawed reasoning lasted an incredible 3,000 years, a powerful assumption that prevented any real medical progress for centuries. Our gut feelings can mislead us when based on such deep, unchallenged assumptions. They can actively get in the way of finding the correct answer. This shows why we must question our instincts. We need to examine the core assumptions that guide our thinking and be willing to discard them. Idea 4. Using intuition incorrectly. Our minds use two systems: fast and slow thinking. Fast thinking is quick and instinctive, while slow thinking is careful and deliberate. Fast thinking is like doing simple math in your head. Your mind acts quickly and almost automatically, providing an immediate, effortless answer. Slow thinking is for complex problems, like calculus. It requires focused, deliberate reasoning and conscious effort to arrive at a solution. A critical mistake is using our gut for complex problems that need slow thought, because this fast thinking often leads to making a very bad call. Imagine an American visiting a country where local people are naturally shy and may not want to talk or make eye contact with complete strangers. If you go with your gut, your fast thinking might tell you the locals are rude or unfriendly. This is an instinctive but likely wrong conclusion. In reality, different social norms are at play. Their shyness is a cultural trait, not a personal slight against you or a sign of hostility. To prevent this error, engage in slow thinking. Pause to observe and consciously consider the context before you make a snap judgment. When we take time to understand unusual habits, we can move past snap judgments and find a more accurate and empathetic perspective. Idea 5. De-risk assumptions. Remember, claims that seem obvious at first glance are not always true and are often just dangerous shortcuts in our thinking process. A better mental model is to put your assumptions through objective validation. This makes it less likely they will sneak into your reasoning. Consider a politician who feels totally secure in their stronghold. They're convinced they'll win easily, relying on previous results and intuition. Taking a poll helps you avoid flawed assumptions by providing objective data instead of forcing you to rely on a simple guess. A new poll shows his support is weaker than assumed, and he must now adjust his strategy or risk walking into a surprising defeat. Idea 6. Your frame of reference. We create false assumptions when we only see from our perspective, like trying to view the entire world through a single restrictive keyhole. Einstein's theory of relativity explains that an object's speed and direction depend entirely on your own unique frame of reference. Imagine you're a passenger on an airplane. From your comfortable seat in the cabin, you feel completely motionless, as if you're not moving at all. But from the airport's perspective on the ground, you're simply a tiny speck, soaring through the vast open sky at 550 miles per hour. We all see the world through a personal frame of reference built from our unique experiences, which shapes our entire interpretation of everything. To achieve objectivity, you must first become aware of your own frame and then consciously challenge the inherent biases it naturally contains. We often fall for the availability bias, a mental trap, where we overvalue information just because it's more recent, vivid, or emotional. For example, reading a dramatic news story about a single shark attack might convince you they are a much more common and significant threat than is real. The reality is that fatal attacks are exceptionally rare. Your view was simply shaped by a powerful story rather than by the actual statistics. Recognizing our own perspective allows us to step outside it. This opens our view to the bigger picture and empowers us to make much wiser choices. Idea 7. Fundamental attribution error. We often judge people's actions as a reflection of their character while ignoring the powerful influence of their situation or their environment. We see a cold server and assume they're rude without ever considering they might just be overwhelmed or having a genuinely bad day. We tend to blame external factors for our own mistakes while denying others the very same benefit of the doubt we freely give to ourselves. To avoid this trap, we can look for the most respectful interpretation. and see the actions of others through a much more forgiving and generous lens. Instead of assuming your server is mean, try thinking they might just be stressed. This small change in viewpoint can change your entire experience. What if that person who cut you off wasn't being a jerk, but was racing to the hospital to be there for a truly serious family emergency? This idea aligns with Hanlon's razor, so avoid assuming bad intentions when a simpler, more plausible explanation for a situation is available. This new perspective builds greater empathy and reduces conflict, offering a more accurate and compassionate way to see and navigate the world. Idea 8. Unintended consequences. Our actions can have unforeseen ripple effects. A single small choice can trigger a much larger, unexpected chain of events we didn't intend. This is the tyranny of small decisions. A choice that seems rational for one person can lead to disastrous results when everyone makes it. When considering a vote, it's easy to feel your single ballot is a drop in the ocean that won't change the outcome of the entire election. But when everyone thinks this way, the very foundation of democracy crumbles and our collective power is lost through widespread apathy. This is the tragedy of the commons, a situation where individuals acting in their own self-interest end up depleting a shared resource for everyone. Picture a common pasture where every herder adds one more animal. For each person, the benefit is great and the cost to the land seems so small. When every herder does this, the pasture is overgrazed and destroyed. The shared resource is ruined for everyone, including those who caused it. We saw this with the pandemic's panic buying, when one person sees a few empty shelves and decides they suddenly need to stock up on supplies. This rational individual choice, when repeated by many, leads to widespread shortages. The very problem people feared is created by their actions. Understanding these models helps us see the bigger picture. We can predict and prevent harm by considering the collective impact of our choices. Idea 9. The importance of long-term thinking. Some decisions feel good in the short term, but lead to disaster in the long run. The classic frog in a pot analogy shows this danger perfectly. Imagine a frog in a pot of water as the temperature slowly rises. It feels so comfortable at first that it's lulled into a state of inaction. Because the change is so gradual, the frog doesn't sense the danger until it's too late, and its comfortable situation becomes a deadly trap. Focusing only on the here and now leads to rash choices, as this short-term thinking can easily blind us to the serious consequences down the line. In finance, there's a drive for immediate returns, a mindset that values quick profits today over the stability of sustainable long-term growth. A business might cut research and development to boost current profits. This neglects the innovation needed to stay relevant and meet future needs. This company will eventually fail its customers and be overtaken by competitors who wisely invested in their long-term growth. This bias toward the short term goes beyond business. It's a deep impulse that profoundly shapes our most important life decisions. Idea 10. Reasoning from first principles. To be wrong, let's often use mathematician Carl Jacobi's advice to always invert the problem and approach it from an entirely different angle. Investors think the goal is making money. Jacobi's inversion suggests the true goal is to protect capital and not suffer a permanent financial loss. The goal is to avoid unforced errors, the careless mistakes we make, like a tennis player hitting a simple shot straight into the net. To avoid errors, argue from first principles by breaking a problem down to its fundamental truths, which leaves no room for any flawed assumptions. When Musk researched batteries, he was told they'd never cost less than 600 kWh. He didn't accept this. He went back to the absolute basics. He asked, what materials are in a battery and what is their market cost? He found the raw components only cost about $80 per kilowatt hour. He solved the problem by sourcing materials and building his own cells. This bottom-up thinking revolutionized the entire energy industry. This applies to daily life, like a job search. Many people blast out resumes and take the first offer, which is an inefficient, top-down approach. Before looking for a job, first define what's important to you. Consider things like freedom money or growth and be clear on your absolute deal breakers. Instead of asking what jobs are open, you ask which job best fits your defined needs. This is first principles thinking applied to your own life. Idea 11. Statistical pitfalls. Statistics are everywhere. From science to our daily lives, we track our steps and sleep, trusting the numbers to guide us and improve ourselves. Remember Mark Twain's warning about lies, damn lies, and statistics, because numbers can be used to mislead just as much as they can reveal the truth. You'll always find someone using statistics to support an argument, but often that supposed evidence is either badly misinterpreted or just plain wrong. A common trap is anecdotal evidence, relying on personal stories. If a friend gets sick from a berry, you'll avoid it without a formal study. This kind of thinking can be misleading. A 90-year-old smoker is a rare outlier and doesn't represent the true risk for the average person. We're wired to share our extreme experiences, not the average ones, so a truly awful meal makes for a much better story than one that was just fine. The correlation equals causation fallacy is a common mistake. Just because two things happen together doesn't mean one actually caused the other. This myth appears with flu shots. Someone gets a shot, then catches a cold soon after, and incorrectly blames the vaccine for their illness. A major reason is timing. People get vaccinated while the flu is already spreading and frequently mistake a common cold for the actual flu. Data can illuminate our world or be a smokescreen, so it's vital to think critically about the numbers we are shown and what they truly represent. Idea 12. Cost-benefit analysis. Making big decisions can be overwhelming. Standard pro and con lists often create more confusion, leaving you stuck and uncertain about the best path. A cost-benefit analysis offers a clearer path forward. It systematically totals up all the costs and all the benefits of any potential choice. You can rank every pro and con numerically using a simple analysis on a basic scale from +10 to -10 for each of your items. You can then add up all the ratings for a final score. If the total is positive, this decision is probably a good one to move forward with. Conversely, if the total sum is negative, it's a clear signal that the choice might not be in your best interest. The cons are simply too big. Let's apply this to a common real-world situation. For example, imagine you get a new job offer that requires you to move to a different city. Assigning a real dollar amount to each cost and benefit is a powerful way to make your comparison feel much more concrete and clear. This method transforms a confusing list into a clear, actionable conclusion. It empowers you to confidently make much better, well-reasoned choices. Idea 13. Decision trees. Simple pro-con lists fail when the future's unpredictable, and we need a better tool for big choices with many potential outcomes. Decision trees help map out these complex situations. They assign a probability to each possible outcome, giving you a clearer picture of the future. Consider a lawyer at a career crossroads who must choose between his safe job and a high-risk new role, offering a much greater reward. Taking this new job has a high 80% chance of success, putting him on the direct path to partnership and achieving his ultimate career goals. But this path has a 1 in 5 chance of failure. The immense pressure could lead to burnout and ultimately cost him his brand new job. The other choice is to stay in his current role as an associate. This path is stable and certain, but it offers no opportunity for advancement. A decision tree shows the process where rectangles are actions, ovals are probabilities, and diamonds represent the final value of each outcome. We can use this structure to calculate the expected value. This is the average monetary outcome you can expect from each potential choice you make. To find this value, you multiply the probability of each outcome by its monetary value. This reveals the true financial potential of each decision. With the math done, the choice becomes clear. The lawyer now sees which path has the higher expected value, guiding him to the optimal decision. Idea 14. Making good decisions. We often practice deciding what to do when we're unsure. The goal now is to improve the quality of every decision we make using mental models. First, find your North Star. This is the primary vision that guides all of your smaller, everyday decisions and keeps you on the right path. Decisions aligned with your North Star help you leverage your strengths. This alignment ensures you reach your ultimate goals much more quickly. To perform deep work, you must dedicate long, uninterrupted blocks of time to a single high-priority task and completely eliminate all distractions. Deep work yields much greater long-term results than multitasking because all true progress is ultimately born from a singular, dedicated focus. Use high-leverage actions. They work like a lever, allowing you to move heavy objects with minimal force just by applying it in the right spot. Similarly, high-leverage decisions are small actions that create massive results. They provide the greatest output for the least amount of effort. Combining a clear vision, deep focus, and high-leverage choices transforms your ability to make consistently excellent decisions in your life.